There's something about slightly older video game graphics that just hit different. Not the pixel-perfect remasters, not the ultra settings with ray tracing. I mean, that sweet spot where the image is a bit rough, the lighting is bold, and your brain fills in the rest. In this video, I want to unpack why these visuals feel so good. It's part nostalgia, sure, but it's also how technical limits became an art style. Clarity over clutter, mood over micro detail, and just enough imperfection to spark imagination. Early 3D had strict budgets, fewer polygons, smaller textures, shorter draw distances, but those limits forced strong choices. Characters needed clean silhouettes you could read in a heartbeat. Levels used bold lighting and chunky geometry that guided your eye. Fog wasn't just spooky, it hid in the distance and made close-ups feel atmospheric. Baked lights and hard shadows gave scenes a punchy graphic look you can feel even today. And filters? Grain, bloom, desaturation weren't there to look cinematic only. They bridged gaps. They smoothed the edges where the tech couldn't. That gentle blur, that gritty grain, our brains accept the illusion and lean into the mood. Older visuals leave room for you. When the texture isn't hyper-detailed, your memory paints the missing pieces. The mind loves to complete patterns, so the image feels richer than what's on screen. You probably played these games during specific moments in life, late nights with friends, the mission you replayed 100 times. That emotional imprint fuses with the look. The moment you see that lighting, that color grade, you're there again. Slightly older is a magic window. The tech was mature enough for confident art direction, but not so advanced that everything chased photorealism. In World at War, the film grain and muddy palettes sell the brutality. In Black Ops, the contrast and color grading carve out that Cold War paranoia. And Spearhead, simple materials, tight level design, decisive lighting, the restraint make the style. Today we can render everything, but more isn't always better. Slightly older graphics often communicate faster. Fewer noisy reflections, fewer micro details fighting for attention. Your eye lands where the designers want it. You recognize threats instantly. The scene reads like a poster, not a showroom. That clarity feels comfortable. It's easy to live in. So, yes, nostalgia matters. But there's craft here. Technical limits shaped bold choices. Those choices created moods, and those moods got glued to our lives at the time we played. Maybe that's why slightly older hits so hard. It's not just the past we're seeing, it's the design language that let our imaginations do the last 10%. What game's visuals instantly transport you back? Drop it in the comments, and if you want, I'll break down one of these titles shot by shot next time.
We hear that the enemy has ordered Rommel to fortify the shores of France with an Atlantic wall of steel and concrete. The Germans know they're coming.
When people ask me when I fell in love with first-person shooters, I don't think of esports or 4K textures. I think of sitting next to my dad around 4 years old when he launched Medal of Honor Allied Assault Spearhead on his old 2000s PC. The screen wasn't sharp, the textures were kind of smeared, but the mood, it felt huge. Most of my memories live inside that first mission because, true story, his computer would glitch right before the end. We'd fight our way through, hearts pounding, and then freeze, nothing. So I replayed that opening over and over. The lighting, the fog, the chunky geometry burned into my brain more than any credit sequence I never saw. Later, when we finally upgraded the tech, I could play past that point. But by then, the look of Spearhead had already imprinted on me. Those bold shadows and simple materials didn't feel like limitations. They felt like a style that invented my imagination to fill in the blanks. Somewhere in that same era, my sister and I would sit back to back in the living room playing against each other. Two tiny generals commanding blocky soldiers. The models weren't detailed, the maps weren't lavish, but the readability was perfect. You always knew where to go, what to do, and who was about to surprise you around the corner. Looking back, I think that's why slightly older graphics hit me so hard. They left just enough space for us to live inside the picture. The computer might have stuttered, but the feeling never did.
Ready? Ready when you are.
For me, 2010 wasn't just another year. It was the year that a friend whispered, "There's this game, Call of Duty Black Ops." We were in 2nd or 3rd grade. His cool older brother played it on the family TV, and that instantly made it feel bigger than life. I went to his place and we played for hours. Before I even owned the game, we'd load up matches and get destroyed by bots on Recruit, laughing and shouting, trying again. And then I got home, begged, saved, and finally unboxed my PlayStation 3 with Black Ops. From that moment, you didn't really see me in the living room anymore. It started with zombies. I was terrified. The grainy image, the harsh contrast, the way the light pooled in corners, it made every hallway feel like a threat. I legit had nightmares, but I couldn't stop playing. I just didn't dare play alone. Somewhere between fear and obsession, I got better. The look of Black Ops, the bold shadows, the punchy color grade, the slightly rough edges made everything readable. You always knew where danger was coming. The clarity trained my eyes and my hands. Soon I drifted from zombies into multiplayer. Day after day, I tried to shave milliseconds off my reactions, learn spawns, angles, rotations, the HUD, the reticles, the map silhouettes, all burned into my muscle memory. That's where my whole understanding of shooters really formed, and why I still play at a decent level today. Looking back, I think the reason why those visuals stick with me is simple. They were just imperfect enough to be unforgettable. Black Ops didn't need photorealism to feel real. It needed mood, contrast, and a style that left space for my imagination to live inside the screen. If Black Ops was the spark, World at War was the fire I wasn't ready for. The same friend who showed me Black Ops brought this one over not long after. I never owned it myself. I played it at his place hunched over the couch, eyes way too wide for a 7 or 8-year-old. Everything about it felt heavier. The film grain, the muddy greens and browns, the harsh contrast. The screen looked like an old war reel somebody smuggled out of history class. Flamethrowers didn't just light the level, they ate the frame. And the jagged edges and blur in the distance made every shape feel like it was crawling out of smoke. The missions were brutal, not just because of what you did, but because of what the image suggested. That slightly rough look left space for your imagination to fill in the worst parts. I was honestly scared, nightmares and all, but I couldn't stop. I just wouldn't play alone. Looking back, I think that's why it stuck. World at War didn't chase photorealism, it chased mood. The grain and desaturation weren't flaws. They were a language. They made silhouettes pop, pushed your focus, and let your brain color in everything lurking off screen. Years later, I came to love it for exactly that. It's got the same slightly older feel as the games that raised me. Bold shadows, gritty filters, clarity over clutter. It taught me that style can be stronger than detail and fear can be louder when the image doesn't explain everything. So even though I didn't own it, World at War lives in my head right next to Black Ops. Two different moods, same era, both proving that limits can be an art direction.